The definition of success should be personal to each of us. Continually doing what interests you could be one definition of success. Maybe doing what interests you is the base level definition of success. At times, most people are unable to stay motivated, even when it comes to their interests. People often become sidetracked. At some point in life, we all question the path we're on. We search for something that is undefinable. Often, the undefinable is an emotion, a feeling of perceived success. When the feeling of perceived success changes, our emotions have changed. We are likely not motivated by the same things we once were. Could you acknowledge that your motivation has changed? Are you brave enough to change midstream in a career to obtain personal happiness or to get motivated again? My desire was to get my creative focus back. Motivation is an umbrella term for a wide array of cognitive and affective processes that are involved in goal-directed behavior. Goals, which are defined as internal representations of desired states, where states are broadly construed as outcomes, events, or processes. The pursuit of personally meaningful goals plays a pivotal role in individuals' well-being and their life adjustments. There is abundant empirical evidence that progress in the achievement of personal goals relates to personal well-being. From this point of view, it seems of utmost importance to analyze whether traumatic stress affects factors known to be relevant to successful goal pursuit, as the inability to successfully strive for personal goals might aggravate the psychological condition of traumatized individuals. Few people can say that they are truly ecstatic all the time. This is not the point of life. Life is a test, regardless of beliefs. It is the chemicals inside our bodies that are ever-changing. The ability to engage in activities continuously to meet the goals without huge changes in emotion are important to staying motivated. The need to acknowledge that there will be at least struggles at some point is a good start. It takes exposure to good and unpleasant events to stay motivated. Other than stimulating our senses, how else will we develop instincts? If it were not for pain, fear, hunger, humans would have not made it this far. To gain confidence, a part of you must allow yourself to fail. I try to keep the mindset that no matter what happens, I will have learned something. There's undoubtedly a lot of pressure that comes with recognition, which can be a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time. But if you stay focused and don't lose sight of what you're doing and who you are, you can rise above it. Simply walking down a busy city street during the daytime is enough for sensory overload. Even a walk alone down an unfamiliar nature trail could stimulate most people's senses. Everyday actions like these are why people live in cities or walk trails alone in the wilderness. There is a sense of heightened awareness with these everyday acts that most people overlook. Often, it is the emotional feeling for happiness. More realistically, it is a chemical reaction of fight and initiate, a survival instinct. The sense of feeling good could be mistaken for feeling high, free, new. Excessive lights from the city, total darkness with a cloudless sky filled with stars, are examples of heightened senses. Temperature, sound, water, and snow will also produce similar feelings. I wanted to learn how to trigger a desired mindset within the moment. The final ramification of distinction between universal and personal helplessness is that it deduces a fourth deficit of human helplessness, low self-esteem. A major determinant of attitudes towards the self is comparison with others. Our analysis suggests that individuals who believe that desired outcomes are not contingent on acts in their repertoires, but are contingent on acts in the repertoires of relevant others, will show lower self-esteem than individuals who believe that desired outcomes are neither contingent on acts in their repertoires nor contingent on acts in the repertoires of relevant others. That is, an unintelligent student who fails an exam his peers pass will have lower self-esteem than a student who fails an exam that all his peers fail as well. The dichotomy between universal and personal helplessness determines cases of helplessness, depression, with and without low self-esteem. But it is neutral regarding the cognitive and motivational deficits in helplessness. It is important to emphasize that the cognitive and motivational deficits occur in both personal and universal helplessness. Abramson, 1977, has demonstrated this empirically while showing that lowered self-esteem occurs only in personal helplessness. According to both the old and the new hypotheses, the expectation that outcomes are non-contingently related to one's own responses is a sufficient condition for motivational and cognitive deficits. The energy humans pass between each other should affect our lives, experiencing both good and bad at times. To me, nightclubs are fascinating places. A person will never be able to predict what will happen on any given night. This is part of the allure of nightclubs. People who go to the clubs are looking to feel a certain way. More times than not, they have the times of their lives. Until something happens that should not happen inside a nightclub. At that point, the perception of a nightclub experience changes for good. I've had more incredible experiences than undesired experiences in nightclubs. When I think about the industry, I love it. To provide a space that caters to celebration is a high duty in life. Providing a space where trusting the people in the space is at the highest level a person could experience most days. Try putting yourself in the mindset to leave your home. Go out to feel something different. A transition from the motivation of occurrences in the outside world led him to the practice of meditation to become inspired from within. Here is what Van Buren had to say. I've been meditating daily since the pandemic, and it's truly changed my life for the better. During the process of recording the Feel Again album and film in partnership with Hyman, I also recorded this guided meditation on the side, as I feel like this was a big part of the Feel Again concept. It made me very passionate about sharing the benefits of meditation with as many people as possible. Van Buren goes on to talk about inspiration originating from his passion of dance music. It's just that I was very passionate about dance music and wanted to share that with the rest of the world. Back when State of Trance started, it was simply me playing some music and sharing my own personal taste with whoever wanted to hear it. Now, 16 years later, I still find it really hard to believe that such a small show went on to become a way of life for so many people all over the world. If you would have told me 16 years ago that this were to happen, I'd have admitted you into a mental institution. I'm really, really humbled by it all and hope that there are a lot more years of a state of trance ahead of us. Through Van Buren's music, he hopes to inspire people to become engaged in personal interaction again. Here is what Van Buren says. I just released the first part of the Feel Again album trilogy in June, with the second and third installments coming up in the fall and winter. This project is very dear to me, as the past couple of years have been very trying for everyone, and I feel it's time not only to bring my fans together on the dance floor, but also to show the lessons I've learned throughout my career. And in the past 2 years in particular, I really hope this 3-part album will inspire listeners to come together and seize the moment again. Hotels to me are like coming home to a welcoming party. A hotel organization does not care what you have been through on any given day. Hotels are there to welcome you. Hotels have made everything perfect just for you. All you need to do is stay alive. Work on yourself. The hotels will take care of the rest. Find a hotel, hotel brand, or a city with hotels that you could continue to use for this purpose. The purpose of a hotel is to make life a little less stressful, so you could focus on your interests. Empowerment, outsourcing, buying your time back to move to your next level in life. Personalization works best when brands or hotel collections can centralize their guest profiles. This way, if a guest returns to a property within the same brand family and not necessarily to the same individual property, profile information is available and the experience can be tailored. I would live my life every day in a hotel given the choice. Living in a hotel is what I want to do at this point. To me, a hotel has life-changing attributes. The attributes of a hotel are endless. Rediscover yourself in a hotel. A space with everything I wanted in a residence at this moment in my life would be a penthouse in the sky. A space with open air where I could see the entire skyline, would have floors with open terraces, live trees, flowing water, and the spaces to capture a sunrise and sunset. Living in the sky atop a building, to me, is an intense reality that could create a continued focus. The primary motivation of the penthouse lifestyle for me is to understand what it took to create a building above the skyline. I wanted to understand why people choose to live above the skyline. Here's what I found. Languishing in designer lavishes high above the streets of the city while enjoying uninterrupted panoramic views in a home that is the epitome of indulgence. Penthouse apartments are not just places to live, they are a lifestyle in themselves. The penthouse is a statement piece for a person to solidify their own reality of their personal success. It is a sense I am on top of my own world. Extremes in life become the drug, from intensity to rest, isolation, and need these swings to continue to live. Within these experiences, old and new interests found most importantly. It is important to me to continue experiencing new things. This is what keeps me motivated. Therefore, I live.